Let me begin with a simple but uncomfortable truth. Time is not money. Money can be earned back. Time cannot. Time is life itself. It is your existence, unfolding moment by moment. And the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. We often speak about managing time as if it is something external like a schedule or a calendar. But time management is not about controlling the clock. It is about controlling your choices. Every hour carries a question. What will you do with me? And how you answer that question determines who you become. Psychologically, human beings underestimate time because it feels abundant until it doesn't. When we are young, we assume we have endless tomorrows. We delay our goals. We postpone difficult tasks. We tell ourselves, I will start next week, next month, next year. But what we are really postponing is not just a task. We are postponing growth. We are postponing opportunity. We are postponing the person we could become. The danger is not dramatic failure. The danger is quiet delay. Every day you wake up with 24 hours. So does every successful leader, entrepreneur, artist, or athlete you admire? The difference is not in the amount of time given. The difference is in the awareness of its value. Highly effective individuals treat time as a non-renewable resource. They understand that saying yes to one thing automatically means saying no to something else. And this is where intention becomes powerful. If you do not consciously decide how to spend your time, the world will decide for you. Notifications will decide. Other people's priorities will decide. Distractions will decide. And slowly, without realizing it, you will become busy, but not productive. Active, but not fulfilled. Philosophically, time forces us to confront responsibility. You cannot blame yesterday forever. You cannot control tomorrow completely. All you truly possess is this present moment. And within this moment lies freedom, the freedom to choose differently. But choosing differently requires clarity. Many people struggle with time management not because they are lazy, but because they are unclear. They do not know what truly matters to them. So they drift, they react instead of respond. They move without direction. And when you move without direction, even speed becomes meaningless. Imagine boarding a train without knowing its destination. It may move quickly, may look impressive, but if it's heading in the wrong direction, speed becomes irrelevant. The same applies to your life. Productivity without purpose is exhaustion. When you begin to see time as life itself, your perspective shifts. You start asking deeper questions. Is this conversation adding value to my growth? Is this habit serving my future? Is this distraction worth a piece of my existence? This is not about becoming rigid or robotic. It is about becoming conscious. Conscious living means recognizing that every hour invested wisely compounds over time. 1 hour of learning daily becomes expertise. 1 hour of focused work daily becomes achievement. 1 hour of self-reflection daily becomes wisdom. Small intentional choices accumulate quietly, but the results are powerful. On the other hand, small careless choices also accumulate. An hour of procrastination becomes a habit. A habit becomes a pattern. And a pattern becomes a lifestyle. Time does not shout when it is being wasted. It slips away silently. There is also a psychological comfort in distraction. It allows us to avoid discomfort. Difficult tasks require effort, focus, and sometimes confrontation with our limitations. Scrolling, delaying, or over-planning feels easier. But ease in the present often creates difficulty in the future. Respecting your time means being willing to face short-term discomfort for long-term growth. And here is something important to understand. Managing your time is ultimately about managing your energy and priorities. Not every task deserves equal attention. Not every opportunity deserves acceptance. Learning to say no is a form of time management. Protecting your morning routine is a form of time management. Setting boundaries is a form of time management. Because when you respect your time, you send a message to yourself and to others that your life has value. You begin to operate with intention rather than impulse. You begin to act based on vision rather than mood. And over time, this intentional living creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create confidence. The most successful people are not those who are constantly busy. They are those who are deliberately focused. They understand that time invested wisely today shapes the freedom they will experience tomorrow. So I invite you to reflect honestly. Where is your time going? Is it aligned with the life you say you want? Or is it aligned with habits you have never questioned? Because in the end, your future is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in ordinary hours, how you use them, protect them, and prioritize them. Time is not just passing. It is shaping you. And if time is life, then the question becomes deeply personal. Are you spending your life with intention, or are you letting it slip away unnoticed? Once you begin to understand that time is life itself, the next realization becomes unavoidable. Inspiration is not enough to protect it. Many people say, I just need more motivation. But motivation is emotional. And emotions are unstable. Some mornings you wake up energized. Other mornings you wake up tired, distracted, uninspired. If your productivity depends on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. This is why discipline matters more than motivation. Psychologically, motivation is triggered by excitement or urgency. It feels powerful, almost intoxicating. You watch an inspiring video, attend a seminar, read a powerful quote, and suddenly you feel unstoppable. But feelings fade. The brain is designed to return to comfort. What felt urgent yesterday feels optional today. And when urgency fades, so does action. Discipline, however, does not rely on emotion. It relies on decision. Discipline is the quiet agreement you make with yourself to act regardless of mood. It is showing up on days when enthusiasm is absent. It is working when no one is watching. It is choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort. Philosophically, discipline is a form of self-respect. It says, my future matters more than my present excuses. When you create systems and routines, you remove the need to negotiate with yourself every day. You do not wake up and ask, should I work on my goal today? The decision has already been made. The system carries you forward. Think about this carefully. Highly successful individuals do not depend on bursts of motivation. They depend on structure. Writers write at specific hours. Athletes train on scheduled days. Leaders follow routines that protect their priorities. Their success is not random. It is the result of repeated, structured behavior. Systems reduce mental friction. When you rely solely on motivation, every task feels like a debate. Your mind looks for reasons to delay. It seeks comfort. It suggests alternatives that are easier, more entertaining, less demanding. But when a routine is established, the brain adapts. What once felt difficult becomes automatic. Habits conserve mental energy, and energy saved can be redirected toward growth. There is also a deeper psychological principle at work. Every time you act with discipline, you strengthen your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through. An identity is powerful. When you believe, I am disciplined, your behavior aligns with that belief. Consistency reinforces confidence. On the other hand, when you repeatedly break promises to yourself, your self-trust weakens. You say you will wake up early, but you don't. You say you will start tomorrow, but you delay again. Over time, this creates internal doubt. Not because you lack ability, but because you lack consistency. Time management is not about squeezing more tasks into your day. It is about aligning daily habits with long-term vision. Small actions, repeated daily, compound in extraordinary ways. One focused hour each day equals 365 hours a year. That is more than 9 full work weeks invested in your growth. But most people underestimate the power of consistency because results are not immediate. They want visible progress quickly. When they do not see it, they stop. Discipline requires patience. It requires trusting the process, even when results are invisible. It requires understanding that growth often happens quietly before it becomes visible. Just like seeds grow beneath the soil before breaking the surface, your efforts accumulate beneath the surface of success. Another important aspect of discipline is eliminating decision fatigue. The more decisions you make throughout the day, the more your mental energy depletes. When you design routines, fixed study times, structured work blocks, planned rest, you simplify your day. You remove unnecessary choices. This protects your focus. And focus is the bridge between time and achievement. Waiting to feel ready is one of the most dangerous habits. Readiness is often a myth. You grow into readiness by acting. If you wait for perfect emotional conditions, you will wait forever. There will always be reasons not to start. There will always be distractions. Discipline cuts through that noise. It says, begin anyway. It is important to understand that discipline is not harshness. It is not self-punishment. It is self-leadership. It is guiding yourself with clarity and firmness. You can be compassionate with yourself while still holding yourself accountable. You can rest when necessary, but rest intentionally, not as avoidance. When discipline becomes part of your character, time stops slipping away carelessly. Your days gain structure, your hours gain purpose, and gradually your life gains direction. You do not need extreme productivity. You need steady commitment. You do not need to feel inspired every day. You need to be consistent every day. Because in the end, success is rarely the result of one dramatic effort. It is the result of ordinary actions repeated with discipline over time. So stop waiting for motivation to rescue you. Build systems that carry you forward even when motivation disappears, because your future will not be shaped by how inspired you felt. It will be shaped by what you consistently did.